What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. So 2 years ago today, May 19th, 2017, we got this Platinum Tundra, and it's been a fun ride ever since. Today we're going to quickly go over some pros, some cons over the last few years, and there is one part that I added to this truck that I wish I didn't, so stay tuned. All right, so overall, right away, I will tell you that I give this truck a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the reasoning behind going to the Platinum for me. Now, this is my 5th Tundra, in case you're new to the channel. I had 3 SR5s, 2 of them were TRD, one was a 4.7, the other 2 were 5.7s, and I also had a 2016 TRD Pro. All of them were double cabs. This is my first Crew Max, and my biggest complaint of the other Tundras were, I wish there were more interior features, such as the sunroof, a little more comfortable leather, JBL sound system, things like that. So stepping up into the Platinum 2 years ago was awesome. Now, other than that, we also got the Platinum to build it into a TRD Pro, because at the time, it was very tough to get a TRD Pro, so we were gonna buy a truck that was a high trim level, like this one, the Platinum, and we were gonna put all the Pro stuff on it, which we did. One of the things back in the 15 to 17 Pros is it didn't have the sunroof, it didn't have the JBL sound system, it didn't have the high-end leather, and it was great, and that was the reason we did it. Now, you could still get a lot of the TRD Pro parts from the 2019 Pro, but you can't get the suspension like you could back then. So this was kind of our project. We called it the Platinum Pro project, and I gotta be honest with you, I just couldn't be happier. This truck has been a lot of fun, it's been great. I love everything I've done to it. I've done a lot to it. Let me know in the comments below if you would like a video of every single part I added to this Tundra. I'd be happy to make it. It will take me a while and I will probably forget a part or two, but if you want that video, comment below and let me know. So let's just quickly go over some pros and cons here. Pros, pretty much everything I just said, coming from the double cabs into the Crew Max. The leather is very comfortable. The back window going all the way down in the Crew Max is fantastic. I love the sunroof. I use the sunroof all the time, even winter. Opening the sunroof and that back window, but keeping the side windows up, airs out the truck, but you can still have a conversation on the highway. It's not very turbulent. That is just some of the great things about having that back window. That's fantastic. A lot of people ask, why don't they have that in the double cab? Probably because it's a selling point for the Crew Max. Because I know we have that argument and talk all the time of more bed space or more interior space, so that's probably one of the ways they get a lot of people to go to the Crew Max, because every Crew Max owner loves that back window. I love the fact that there's little LED turn signals in the mirrors, blind spot monitoring, backup sonar, all of that is great. I like that the air climate control is dual and you could set it to an actual temperature. It's just nice. It's not the most high-end truck on the market. We've talked about this 50 times, but it has everything you need. All I really cared about as far as luxury features was the sunroof at first. Memory seating is great. When a mechanic moves my seat or my steering wheel around, all I do is come here and hit the one button and everything goes back to the way I like it. It's just been such a pleasure to own this truck. Now, I do have a couple cons, nothing too crazy, but there is a couple things I do want to point out. Number one, we said backup sonar. It's just not very loud. If you're about to hit stuff, which you should be paying attention to your surroundings, obviously, a little icon comes up on your, like, in your center cluster there, and shows you how far you are away from something with little lines behind a little picture of a truck. But the sonar, if you have your radio up, you can't even hear it. In other trucks I've driven from other brands, it actually is very loud and intrusive, and that's what you want if you're about to hit something. The front parking sensors are only on the side. When I first bought the truck, I almost hit a garbage can testing it out, because it won't tell you if anything's directly in front of you. It'll just tell you the stuff that is probably at your front corners. So heads up on that if you ever get it. Another con is, I'm not a big fan of the Entune infotainment system in this truck. It's very easy to use, but there's just some things about it I'm not really a big fan of. Like I said in yesterday's video, they got rid of the Pandora icon, the Pandora app that you can use. You can still do Pandora through your phone and do it all on your phone, but it used to be way easy when you could pull up all your channels and change everything right on the screen so you can focus on the road. That's the whole thing, paying attention to the road. But other than that, there's not really that many cons. I really do love the truck. It's been great. I don't care about the gas mileage. We've supercharged it. One of my complaints when I went to the Crew Max originally was the truck felt a lot slower than the double cab. It felt kind of heavy and sluggish when I first got it compared to the double cab. But obviously the supercharger took care of that, so everything's great with that. I didn't really want to focus too much on giving you pros and cons of the parts I put on it. I just kind of wanted to really talk about going from other trims to the Platinum. Also, another con is the JBL sound system. When the windows are up, JBL sound system is awesome. When the windows are down, it needs a little bit more. But that's it. As far as cons, I believe that's it. I don't really have much more. So at the end of the day, obviously no regrets in this truck. We have many, many pros and a few cons here or there. All the cons I mentioned to you, very easy to live with. I've just learned to deal with certain things. But yeah, the truck is awesome. If you're in the market for a Tundra and you have the means, definitely check out the Platinum in 1794. I was gonna go for, at the time I had the 2016 TRD Pro, I was gonna go for a 2017 TRD Pro and a Crew Max because my old TRD Pro was a double cab. And then this came along while that Pro was being delivered to me. Was still like a month and a half out, and I ended up going with this one, and I'm so happy I did. Although, there is one part I added to this truck and all the many parts that I've added along the way that I regret. So let me explain that to you now. So of all the parts I put on this Platinum Tundra, there is one I wish I did not, and that is the Trd Rear Sway Bar. Now, I've had many TRD Rear Sway Bars along the way with my trucks. I've helped a lot of people buy them. I actually highly recommend them. The only time I don't recommend it is if you have a TRD Pro suspension, whether that be the old one like I have, the Bilstein one, or the new Fox TRD Pro suspension. So the best part about the TRD Pro suspension, it has a lot of travel. And one thing that I noticed when I put on the TRD Rear Sway Bar was when I was on the highway, the truck felt kind of choppy. It definitely helped the truck from floating. You know, we always talk about body roll and everything like that, but it made the truck on the highway just feel like, you know, the suspension was not going over the bumps and everything the way it should. Now, I just want to take a minute and tell you, I do highly recommend the TRD Rear Sway Bar, but if you have the Pro suspension, you might want to think about it before you spend the $230 or so on it. Even Toyota says it's not recommended for the Pro suspension, and you know, it does hold back the travel of the suspension a little bit. Obviously, if you off-road, you wouldn't want a rear sway bar on there anyway, but what I suggest, if you do want a TRD Rear Sway Bar and you have a TRD Pro, buy the truck, drive the truck around, see how it feels without the sway bar. Then, if you're not liking the way it feels, then buy the sway bar. Don't buy the truck and the sway bar together so you can get a good feel for it. Like I said, on the highway, the truck felt awesome without the rear sway bar. It just felt like it really floated over the bumps. Still gave you enough driver feedback so, you know, you felt you were in control of the vehicle and everything like that. It's just with the sway bar on the highway, it just felt a little bit more bumpy. But that's it. I have no regrets. This truck is awesome. There's not much more I can say about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Twitter and Instagram at TundraDude34, TundraDude34@gmail.com. You guys have a great day, and let me know if you want me to make that video on all the parts I've added to this truck. Have a good one.